So so I think I want to make a video about the Dragon Ball anime um, and rank a few characters based on strength, which I believe are the strongest characters. I will rank obviously the top 10 because that's usually a good number, and I think 10 is also a good cutoff point because if I go any lower, it gets a bit tricky to rank which character is definite, uh, which character surpasses who. I won't use power levels and obviously uh, only use anime characters that appear before Z, but I won't use prequel characters. So this is just in order how we experience the characters as we watch the show for the first time when it aired the first time. Let's say that, and no Dr. Slump characters because Arale's feet. She is a gag character and her feet keep getting retconned. Last time Toriyama said how strong Arale is, it was during stronger than Goku when he defeated King Piccolo. And that's a bit stupid, if I say so myself. So if I were to rank Arale, she will be number 0 probably. That would be the safest ranking. And I have seen a few of Arale's feats that aren't in Dragon Ball, but that would be considering external sources. But then again, Arale came before Dragon Ball, so take it as you will. If Arale were on the list, she would be at least above King Piccolo and at most number 0 because you know it's really stupid to rank Dr. Slump characters. There are a few other characters that could probably solo Dragon Ball at this point, but I don't want to break my head around it. Let's go to the honorable mentions first. These are the characters that sadly don't make the list. They aren't all about equal strong. A few you can obviously tell who is stronger. For instance, we have Master Roshi. He has been the strongest character for a good chunk of the series. The first 2 arcs, he was the strongest, strong enough to blow up the castle from the Ox King. He was strong enough to destroy the moon during the first Tenkaichi Budokai we witnessed, the 21st one. He was able to fight Goku with pretty much ease, even after he got tired from his strongest attack. What else did he do? Yeah, he yeah, I think there isn't much to say about Master Roshi. Master Roshi is definitely one of the strongest characters. The reason he's difficult to rank is second character Korin. We never see Korin fight, but he is who pretty much made Goku and Master Roshi as powerful as they are. Anyone who trains under Master Korin is strong enough to beat the Red Rhythm Army. What else? Korin is also Korin's training is really efficient. So most of the characters you see on the list are ranked reached the power they have because they trained under Master Corrin. So, despite him having no real feats in the story, never fighting, uh, he is a god of martial arts, so it wouldn't be fair not to mention him in the honorable mentions. And this demon here, Shura or something, he is strong enough to beat Goku with ease. Well, Goku didn't lose, but he wasn't able to defeat him before Shura left. He was pretty much having lots of troubles there, and at this point, what did Goku do? He defeated the entire Red Ribbon army, trained under Corrin, and pretty much surpassed Master Roshi. So, in this regard, this guy is still keeping up with this Goku. At that point, Goku was probably the strongest human character so far. Next, you might be wondering, why is freaking Chaozu on the list? And the reason why Chaozu is on the list is because he also received training from Master Corrin. He trained alongside 3 characters that will appear on the list. So it would make sense, even if he didn't show the feats, that he would be at least somewhere around Goku's level during the second Tenkaichi Budokai. So I honestly think Chaozu could solo the Red Ribbon army, but you never know. Toriyama doesn't seem to give a fuck, because since his debut fight, Chaozu never really did anything impressive. We have Yajirobe. Yajirobe is one of few characters that actually impressed Goku, who trained under Master Corrin. He's able to climb the Corrin Tower without being tired much. It's not clear how strong he is. He was able to defeat one of King Piccolo's henchmen with relative ease. And it's not clear if he received training from Master Corrin after that. But yeah, he started living at Corrin Tower after his debut for some fucking reason. Never explained. You'll see the guy who is holding his arm tambourine. He is probably the second strongest henchman of King Piccolo. He killed several of the martial arts, which may not sound like much, because these martial arts are pretty much fodder, most of them, compared to Goku. He killed Krillin and defeated a hungry Goku with ease. Well, that's still an impressive feat if I say so myself. So the question is, how does Tambourine compare to these characters on the list? I don't think he's strongest than Shura, because fucking Goku struggled against Shura. And Tambourine lost to Goku after Goku has regained his full power again. Can he beat Yajirobe? I don't know. And like I said, Tambourine really difficult to scale compared to characters on the list. Next we have Master Shen, Tien Shinhan's and Tenshin Han's and Chaozu's teacher, Master Roshi's rival. He may be weaker than Master Roshi, but I think just he has more dangerous techniques. He teaches various of techniques that are really dangerous and can pretty much kill the opponents with ease. The Dodonpa technique that can be used with ease and is faster than the Kamehameha, stronger than the Kamehameha. It's his pretty much his school's technique. Now the question is, um, how does he scale compared to these characters? Can he still beat Chaozu after Chaozu received training from Master Korin? I don't know. Can he beat Master Korin? I don't know. Because we don't find out these things during the story. We know that he and Master Roshi don't get along. And his training seems to be efficient since both his students are able to challenge the Turtle School students. Except Goku, because Goku is a freaking god, god tier at this point. And lastly, we have Anin, the guardian between the living and the world of the dead. She didn't show much impressive feats, but Goku, a teenage Goku who is at that point the strongest in the heavens, did struggle a little bit. I think that may be enough of a reason for an honorable mention. And if you want to hear another honorable mention, I think it's Gohan, Grandpa Gohan, but again, we didn't see much of it to really judge. Now this list will be weird as you go. Number 10 and number 9 may be exchangeable, but I'm confident how it's going. So first we have Tao Pai Pai. After he was revived, Tao Pai Pai at the start of the series defeated Goku with ease. Goku was already causing trouble to the Red Ribbon Army, so Goku trained on the God of Martial Arts, Master Korin, and then defeated Tao Pai Pai with ease. And next time we see Tao Pai Pai, he turns in the form he appears on the list. He has powered up his Dodonpa to Super Dodonpa, and he defeated Chaozu with ease. Chaozu, after he got training from Master Korin and possibly have surpassed Goku. So I think Tao Pai Pai, despite showing no major feats like beating someone like King Piccolo, I think he deserves the spot he's currently in. And next up is Drum. Drum defeated Tien. Tien at that point of the series was already trouble for Master Roshi, and whether it's implied or sort of, some people think Roshi has already been surpassed, and Roshi admitted that, which is why he left, or he just acknowledged Tien's power to challenge his students and left. But yeah, Goku was insanely strong. Goku was already stronger than Master Roshi, so there's no point in that. But if we were to take that line serious, that Master Roshi is about Tien level, and Drum beat Tien with relative ease, so it's clear that Drum is stronger than both Master Roshi and Tien. And why is Drum stronger than Tambourine? He's, I think, one of the best tells is that he was created by a stronger version of Piccolo, because Tambourine, when Tambourine was created, he was created from aged King Piccolo, but now that King Piccolo has his full power, he can create stronger offsprings like Drum. And Drum is also insanely fast for how he looks like. So it's relatively clear that, I think it's relatively clear if you watch the shows, that Drum is a tier above Tien, and those also above Roshi. There's no he is slightly stronger. And number 8, I hope I did it. Yamcha. Why is Yamcha on the list? Obviously, he received training from Curran. Now you maybe argue, can this Yamcha defeat Drum? There's the first argument, but Yamcha is strong enough to impress God or Kami during the fight, because Yamcha did fight Kami in the tournament, and Kami is one of the he's one of the strongest characters in the series. He is the good half of Piccolo, and he is still stronger than Piccolo at that point. So Yamcha, definitely a character to be reckoned with. He trained alongside Tien, Tenshinhan, and Krillin and Chaozu. And next up is Krillin. Why is Krillin higher than Yamcha? I think it's pretty much favoritism by Toriyama. That pretty much tells Krillin will always be above Yamcha. So what did Krillin do during the series? He was strong enough to usually get to the semi-finals. He got killed by Tambourine, but later received training from God of Martial Arts Curran, trained with Tien, learned a few techniques from Tenshinhan, and he was able to fight King Piccolo Jr., Piccolo's offspring, and actually worry him. Obviously Piccolo won, but just impressing Piccolo, I think that's enough to put Krillin where he is right now. I think Krillin did better than Piccolo than Yamcha did against Kami, and I think that is more than a good reason to tell that he's a complete different level from Yamcha. Next up is obviously Tenshinhan. He got to the semi-finals to fight Goku and actually figured out a few tricks to catch him off guard or keep up with him. Obviously, Tenshinhan lost at the end, but he forced Goku to left his heavy clothing and was able to pressure him for a while. And Tenshinhan is also one of the stronger characters. Even before receiving training from God of Martial Arts Curran, he was able to somewhat keep up with techniques alone with Goku. And now that he trained under God of Martial Arts Curran, I am certain he can defeat the likes of Drum with relative ease. And there seems to be a theme that training with in a group seems to give him a impressive power up. He has some of the most dangerous techniques on his arsenal. He defeated Tao Pai Pai with complete ease. Like the Super Dodonpa, he just yelled and the attack vaporized. That's how powerful Tenshinhan is. During the third Tenkaichi Budokai at 23. So I feel comfortable putting him in number 6. Now, number 5 may be controversial. It's not clear if that character is actually stronger than the character number 6, 7, and 8. But honestly, I think he still is somewhat above them, and that is King Piccolo himself. King Piccolo is, even aged King Piccolo is able to defeat Goku, who trained under Korin with ease. Master Roshi couldn't do jack shit against him. Uh, he needed to sacrifice his life to seal him away, and that sealing technique just failed. So Roshi died for nothing. He could have beaten King Piccolo if the technique succeeded, but it didn't. Piccolo is like again completely different levels from Master Roshi, who blew up the moon. And this was implied that no normal training could put Roshi above King Piccolo. And no normal training, not even training from Korin, likely, is enough to make you stronger than King Piccolo. And King Piccolo is also able to create massive craters with his energy blasts. With simple energy blasts, like he swipes his arm and there's already a big hole. Obviously not an impressive feat like Roshi blowing up the moon, but to blow up the moon, Roshi had to release close to all his power, and King Piccolo did it pretty much with casualty. And he can fire several nuke-tier attacks with relative ease, like his explosion wave, like it might be his signature move, which yeah, I think it's pretty much clear that King Piccolo is fitting for number wait, I did some move up. Yeah, number 5, and number 4 is Mr. Popo. Mr. Popo, after King Piccolo was defeated by Goku, he had released an egg, and Goku went to the realm of the god, in the heavenly realm, to get the Dragon Balls reincarnated, to revive the dragon. So Krillin and Master Roshi and also dead can be revived. So here's where Mr. Popo comes in. He beats the crap out of Goku with ease. He didn't says even no real movement. He hardly moves, he hardly reacts. He eats Goku's strongest attack casually. It shows that Mr. Popo again is a completely different tier from King Piccolo. So obviously you may be wondering, can Tien Shinhan maybe beat Mr. Popo? And I don't believe Tien Shinhan can beat Popo. I don't think Krillin can beat Popo. Maybe they keep up with him, but like I said, the tiering is a bit. There might be a few inconsistencies and a few things that may be worrisome, but I'm certain that it's clear that Mr. Popo is stronger than King Piccolo. But how strong is Mr. Popo? If we go by external sources, it's even more confusing how strong Mr. Popo is. Some people even think Mr. Popo is the strongest character at this point, just because of external sources. But seriously, there's a line by Mr. Popo, and he stated that God is 1,000 times stronger than himself. And this is a questionable quote because it's clearly not 100% true. He may have exaggerated, but if that were true, he and King Piccolo may be weaker than Yamcha at this point at the end of the series. But it wouldn't make sense in my mind that Mr. Popo would be that much weaker than those characters, just from how the story has been told. Obviously, I'm not showing any feats because, like I said, Dragon Ball is largely up to interpretation, and if you use feats, you will find yourself in several inconsistent, hit a few inconsistent areas, because we don't know if Mr. Popo can fire energy blasts, and if he could probably destroy Earth, and there's no reason we need to see a feat like that to believe that he's as strong as he is. Number 3 is obviously God himself. He turned Yamcha pretty much into a joke. Goku couldn't even reach him when he first arrived the heavenly realm. And if you look, Kami is obviously aged. And aged Kami, imagine he would reach his youth too. He would probably wipe the floor with several characters currently in the series. But let's not get into that. Kami I think this is some of the scenes which is just stupid, because you may be wondering why didn't Kami come to Earth to stop King Piccolo himself, and we never really get an answer during the course of the series, because back when Dragon Ball ended, at that point it wasn't much to worry about, but now that Dragon Ball has continued to up to the point it has, you are wondering what are all these stupid gods doing. They are just viewing from the place, and they don't do anything that much productive, and they feel powerless as they watch, when they could intervene whenever they wanted, which is really stupid. And this time Kami decided to actually intervene, because oh god, he realized that he is responsible for King Piccolo, and so he came down to stop King Piccolo. Well, he didn't come to stop King Piccolo, he came to stop his offspring, who is much stronger than himself. So what feats did a god have? So God took the body of some salaryman. He knows the Mafuba, he can use it without killing himself, because he's a freaking god. He's also he obviously beat it Tien Shinhan without much trouble. Well, Tien Shinhan did. Yamcha, I mean, did surprise him with his Spirit Ball technique, which I think is enough to put him to 6, but God is a completely different tier than Yamcha, and I think it's clear that he's also stronger than King Piccolo. Just none of the fighters can really follow their movement. It's the first time that Tien Shinhan, even with his 3 eyes, couldn't follow a character's speed. Because if you watch the series, you see Tien Shinhan realized early on his eyes, and rarely anyone can keep up with his speed, with his speed, because he can see them with ease. He can spot them. The first person he couldn't spot and needed to use a new technique was Goku. And considering that Kami is one of the characters who can't he can't see, I think that also shows how fast, how dangerous Kami is. I obviously word God because he's the god of Earth. And this is now the thing. We are now talking about God characters that are stronger than God. Mortals. Maybe one of them is a mortal stronger than God. Now, if you think Dragon Ball Super came up with the first time that Goku surpassed God, you are greatly mistaken. And obviously number 2 is Piccolo Jr., the Piccolo we know today. The reincarnation of King Piccolo, who is already number 5, and this Piccolo is much stronger. How did he get this strong is not clear. I actually, retroactively speaking, it's just stupid that he was able to get where he is. So Piccolo is always wearing heavy clothing, which we don't know at this point in the story. So maybe I shouldn't include that. Yes, it's clear just from hearing what Kami said that Piccolo has all the feats of previous Piccolo and already surpasses himself in power. And from the fight we have seen, Kami couldn't hardly keep up with him. And Kami already defeated Tenshin Yamcha with relative ease, and none of the characters but Goku can keep up. See God and Piccolo fighting. The next thing obviously is his fight against Goku. When Piccolo started fighting Goku, he was so fast that even God couldn't keep up with their speed. So now Piccolo has been possibly holding back against Kami at that point in the series because he thought Kami is just some regular human, and he didn't want to kill. He wanted to play this story by the tournament by the rules until he reached Goku, and it's probably the hardest fight Goku had up to this point when he fought Piccolo, because Piccolo really pushed him through the edge. But there's some reasons that Piccolo could technically never beat Goku, except because Goku was if Goku wasn't playing by the rules, Piccolo would have died with ease, because obviously Goku is the strongest in the series. He's the strongest under the heavens. At this point he defeated pretty much each character on this list, except Mr. Popo has been defeated by Goku. He defeated Tambourine with one kick. He defeated Tao Pai Pai back before he got mechanized, but mechanized Tao Pai Pai was beaten by Tenshin Han. Goku defeated Tenshin Han in their rematch. He exploited all of Tenshin Han's weaknesses. He can sense ki, which already puts him above a lot of characters on the list who apparently can't sense ki or can sense ki. Don't know. It's really hard to really gauge that because the story didn't tell us when they learned how to sense ki and who can sense ki exactly. I think there's some kind of plot hole, especially since Roshi can apparently sense ki, but he didn't teach it to anyone. And ki sensing has been introduced during the fight against Kami, against Piccolo. Well, against Tenshin Han, Goku defeated Tenshin Han through ki sensing. What else? Goku defeated King Piccolo before he received training from God. He trained to surpass God. He's always wearing, in the image, he's wearing heavy clothing and still was able to somewhat fight. Yeah, Tien Shinhan. Oh yeah, I forgot. Piccolo destroyed Papaya Island with a simple energy blast, and Goku is able to push and survive Piccolo's techniques with relative ease. Piccolo just can't kill Goku. If you watch, it's almost comedic. The fight, it's the best fight in the franchise, but it's still retains some comedic elements because you know Goku is playing with Piccolo, but he wants to beat Piccolo and not kill him because he knows that if he kills Piccolo, he will be disqualified, and which is kinda weird. And the second reason is Kami would die too, who is his master, and the Dragon Balls disappear, which is a bonus, which explains why Goku went where he did, that he would let Piccolo survive. And I think there's no denying Goku is the strongest in the series. What else do I need to argue here? You think Roshi blowing up the planet attack can defeat Goku? Goku just needs to yell and that attack is negated. And here you see the strongest mortal, at least currently in the at this point in the franchise. Stronger than a god, than two gods to be exact. He is stronger than Korin and he's stronger than Kami. And now I don't want to hear about Goku is now a mortal who surpassed gods for the first time. This is when Goku surpassed the gods, and next I'm considering making one on the Dragon Ball Z, but it may be really hard to make, and the list may seem really repetitive because all the Boos, there are 4 different variations of Boo and they are their own character, and you can imagine how the list then looks like. So with this I end the video. I hope you kinda enjoyed it, and with this we will see each other next time.